Hope Ladies, it is so great to be with all of you tonight. We're having a different kind of Hope Ladies event tonight. I'm on my way to the church because we're going to be having a book club night. We'll be sharing some laughs, connecting with each other, and speaking about the things that God has been speaking to us about lately from the stories that we've been reading. Honestly, I cannot wait. But first, I'm going to pick up Amy Jane because we're carpooling together, and she's just messaged me a few minutes ago to say that she's waiting outside and ready to go. So let's do this. So Trace and Liz are going to be joining us tonight as well, and I'm so excited to see them. I think I'm going to give them a call to make sure that they're on their way. Hey Debs!
Hey Debs!
Hey Liz! Hey Trace! How are you guys doing?
Good, and you?
Good, thanks. Are you guys excited for tonight?
Yeah, we are very excited.
Absolutely. I have just snuck out of the house and I've just picked up Liz, so we're on our way.
Yeah, and I also escaped as soon as Trace called me.
Awesome! I'm about to go and pick up Amy Jane. So tell me, what are you guys looking forward to most about tonight?
So yeah, I'm so looking forward to just connect again. You know, with lockdown, it's been long since we met as ladies. So I can't wait for us to just connect and tell each other stories.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be absolutely amazing just to be with everybody and to laugh and pray together. It's going to be great. It's going to be an absolutely awesome evening.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm also so excited. I cannot wait to see you guys. I'm picking up Amy and I'll see you in a few minutes.
All right. Thanks, Debs.
Cool.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye. Oh, there's Amy. I'm so excited to see her.
Hey, Debs.
Hey, Amy. How are you? Yeah. No problem. So good to see you.
Yeah, book club, baby.
Woohoo! So excited.
Super excited. Whew. It's chilly tonight.
It is quite chilly.
But so looking forward to tonight. It's going to be amazing.
Absolutely. How's your week been so far?
Yeah, good. And yours?
Good, thanks. I was so looking forward to Friday. I think the week just flew by. I couldn't wait.
It has been going like that. I think we all needed just a bit of a breather and a break to have some fun together.
Absolutely.
Feels like we're on a road trip, Debs.
It kind of does, hey.
We need a song.
I agree. Like carpool karaoke.
Oh, I love that program. Okay, but like he picks up professionals though. I don't know if we can.
Are you not professional?
Okay, let's think of a song. I know a song that would resonate with you and with me because we are both Friends fans.
I like where this is
Are
going.
you thinking what I'm thinking, Debs?
Unless you're thinking Smelly Cat.
Well, I think we sound like her. Okay. It's I'll Be There For You.
Woohoo! I love that idea.
Okay, let me see. I think I've got it on my phone.
Are we actually gonna sing?
Yeah.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your life lies the way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear, and it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year.
This has not been our year.
Anyone's year. I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. You're there for me too. Oh, it's such a great song.
It's quite apt for Hope Ladies. Just having that community around you in tough times.
You know who would be amazing at carpool karaoke?
Joy.
Yes.
And she's coming tonight, right?
So excited to see her.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to give her a phone call to see if she's on her way. And then we also should ask her to sing for us.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
Got a beautiful voice. So let's...
Hello.
Hey, Joy.
Hey, Joy. Hi ladies! How are you guys doing?
Good, thanks, and you?
Great, thanks. Are you ladies ready for tonight? Absolutely. Are you on your way as well? I am. I'm driving at the moment. Oh, brilliant. So Amy and I were busy having carpool karaoke, and we immediately thought who would be brilliant at this but Joy.
Yeah, definitely. And our singing wasn't great, Joy, we have to tell you. So I think you could up us by using your beautiful voice to sing us something right now.
Oh my word, you're putting me on the spot. Okay, let me think. Okay, I've got it. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. You're simply the best.
Nice.
Better than all the rest. You're better than anyone I've ever met. How was that?
That's a really good song, a classic.
Oh, thanks, ladies.
Thanks, Joy. Well, we just wanted to phone and check that you're on your way, and we're so excited to see you in a bit.
Oh, I can't wait to see you.
Awesome.
See you now.
See you now.
Okay. Bye.
She's so awesome.
She is brilliant. What a beautiful voice.
I'm a word, yeah.
So, Ames, what do you love most about Hope Ladies?
I just love this community. You know, like even just having these phone calls and being able to drive together, Debs, and just be reminded of how much we need each other. And especially during this time that we find ourselves in, I think like we underestimate how much we need people. And we need each other as girls. And so like I love Hope Ladies because you can always find someone who's either gone through what you've gone through or is currently going through what you're going through. And so there's always someone just to connect with and to, you know, learn from each other's stories, which is just the best part. So I'm really looking forward to tonight, especially with book club, because I think we're all going to learn like different lessons from each other, not just from the books but from each other's lives as well. So I'm super excited.
Absolutely. I think lives are like stories, and the more layers you unpack and the deeper you go with one another, the more value we get out of each other. I always love Hope Ladies events because there's always a new potential for ends to make.
That's so good.
I love the way ladies can connect only the way ladies connect. And there's always a new opportunity to make a new friend, to make a new connection, and be inspired by somebody. And I absolutely love the name Hope Ladies because every time I've come to one of the meetings, my hope levels have been raised up, my hope levels have just been lifted, and that's the one thing that we really need in this world is hope. I want to be a hope carrier, so I need to be hopeful the whole time.
Nice, yeah.
So excited. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing.
That's awesome. And I've heard that Pastor Candace has made the most amazing brownies for tonight.
Oh, can't wait.
Besides all of the serious stuff, you know, we also have fun together and we eat together, which is, you know, right church culture. Basically coffee and chocolate.
Absolutely.
So looking forward to it.
So the one song that has been on my playlist lately is such a great song to listen to in the car. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, come on.
But then you have to be singing along with me. Cool.
Oh, I love this song.
Think about it. There must be a higher love down in the heart or hidden in the stars above. Without it, life is a wasted time. Look inside your heart and I'll look inside mine. Things look so bad everywhere in this
like a proper car, belting it out. Or shower song, you know.
Definitely getting ready for a night out type of song, just kind of inspiring you. So Amy, have you been promoting Hope Ladies on your Facebook page and that?
Facebook, Instagram, wherever I can. I'm gonna try host a watch party.
Oh, stunning.
We have to do the things.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's so awesome, like even during this time where we're missing being together, but we can reach so many others just by the technology that we have. So that's
So true. Sometimes technology can be frustrating, but as a way to reach other people and connect with others and get them involved in meetings that they might not have even come to before.
So true.
So it'll be fantastic to see how many ladies log on online and how many of them, come onto Facebook. Definitely.
I mean, that's like, we've seen so many stories of people who have like connected all over the world, never mind just from around like our church area.
Yes.
And they've been so impacted by all the different services. So I'm sure that there's going to be many ladies impacted by tonight. It's so exciting.
And even ladies that aren't necessarily churchgoers, I think there's a sort of sense of wanting something a little bit more impactful, wanting a deeper connection, authentic connection.
Yeah, so true.
And I think that's what Hope Ladies also offers the world. So
Oh, bring me a higher love. Where's that higher love? I keep thinking of that. Bring me higher love. That. Bring higher love. Oh, that. Bring higher love.
Coffee and brownies.
Well, Hope Ladies, our book club night is about to start, so why don't you take a moment and invite friends and family to join us on Thrive Online, or even start a watch party on Facebook. But either way, let's get excited. I can't wait to see you shortly.
ladies, it's so great that we get to gather together once again. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We'd love to connect with you in a meaningful way. So why not say hi in the comments and just let us know where you're watching from. As you can see, we're doing things very differently tonight. I'm going to be joined by 5 incredible ladies from across both our campuses. And together, we're going to have a book club meeting where we get to connect with each other, share laughs and celebrate, and talk about what God's been speaking to each of us about through the stories that we've been reading. You see, there are so many ways which we can hear and benefit from God's truth in a powerful way. And one of them is through the stories and lessons and ideas that He gives us in the books that we read. So we've decided to get together over cups of coffee and food, including these delicious freshly made brownies, which I made this afternoon using a new recipe. So here's hoping they turn out all right. I actually think I hear the ladies arriving. Let's go meet them. So as we said, you've joined us for book club and we're so excited. I'm here with 5 incredible ladies and we're just going to have a great time unpacking the books that we've read and how they relate to our lives and what God has been speaking to us about at this time. So with me is Amy Jane Duma, who you should know by now, Joy over here, Liz over here, Debs and Trace. And together we're just going to have a girls book club and we hope that you enjoy every moment with us. So ladies, who's going to go first tonight?
I can go first.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Joy.
Okay, so I am reading a book called Love Lives Here by Maria Goff. And wow, what a read. I think I'm actually going to reread it after this.
Joy, are you that person?
Not normally gives, but for this book, I definitely am. It's that good. So throughout the book, Maria speaks about how we get to choose where our love lives. So we can either live in our past disappointments or in the anxiety of our future, or it can live here in the present, in the company of the people that we love and a God who loves us. One particularly sweet story that she tells in the book is about an early childhood memory of hers where she's sitting in a circle with some of her classmates at preschool, and the teacher announces that it's time for music and says to everyone, grab an instrument from the box that I'm going to place in the middle of the circle. And of course, Maria doesn't get to the box in time, so she doesn't get an instrument. I thought the same thing, Lizzie. And she tells about how she was deeply saddened, and the tears flooded her eyes, and the thought of not being able to share in the joy with her classmates just completely overwhelmed her, and the thought of not being good enough. And I think throughout her life that thought constantly came up and stifled her in a lot of ways, and from achieving opportunities that she could have achieved. But it was a relatable story. But I just absolutely love how she ended it, and I want to read it to you guys tonight. And she says, "We overlook our unique gifts as we crane our necks, looking in everyone else's mirror. Whoa. We wonder if who we are is enough. Yet still, the mirror held in the strong hands of Jesus reflects how He sees us. His confident voice whispers, I see you, I made you, I love you, We've got this.
Wow.
Our reflection never looks more accurate than when we stop looking at the emptiness of the box and instead gaze into the mirror he holds.
Sure.
That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I just love that because, you know, so often the setbacks that we experience in life, we don't realize that we can release them. You know, the things that stop us from living more fully and loving more fully can be released. All we need to do is just listen to the message that Jesus is speaking into our lives.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's really amazing how the childhood narratives that we tell ourselves can impact our lives today. And those narratives can be so many years back, but they still influence the way we live today. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like really interesting. I mean, if you think of, you know, we're talking about childhood narratives and just patterns of thinking, the book that I'm reading at the moment deals with a lot of that sort of thing. Really amazing.
So what is it, Trace?
So it's this one. It's called 8 Great Smarts
Okay.
by Kathy Koch. And it's been really, really good. It deals with the different types of intelligence that our children have and how, you know, they're not all cut of the same cloth. They don't all come out of the same mold. They're all different. They all have their little things, you know.
Yeah.
So it really deals with those kinds of things. Very, very interesting.
That's so interesting, Trace. What are the 8 different smarts?
Ah, thanks. I have to remember them. So I'm going to look in the index because it's easier to remember them from there. If I can find them. So the first one is word smart. So it's, you know, those kids who are just like, they have all the words. They are good readers. They're good communicators. That's the first one, word smart. Then it's the logic smart, when the kids think with questions. Those kids have always got a million questions to ask about something. Picture smart, people who think with pictures. It's really fascinating. So I kind of think my daughter might be a picture person. Music smart, when they use rhythm. You know, those kids are always banging on something and tapping out a tune somewhere.
You've got it.
And then there's body smart, so it's like movement and touch. That's where the intelligence lies. Nature smart, so it's thinking in patterns, which is really, that was mind-blowing. Hadn't ever thought of that. People smart, so you know those guys who are just always so good with people, they love people, they interact well. And then self-smart is those people who like to reflect, so those people who like to journal and they're a bit introspective and they improve themselves. Those are the
That's really
different-
good.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is so very, very good.
Yeah, so I've also read the book. I found it so helpful. My two are both word smart. They have more words than they should. But then Caleb's the music smart, you know, they're like running around the room beating everything. And Kate is nature smart. Just like yesterday, she was taking videos of moss and uploading them on her YouTube channel. Like, is that even as smart? But they love hearing that they're smart. Like, you just tell them that, hey, you word smart, and for months they walked around saying, I'm word smart.
I think Joel's word smart, so I told him that. Oh, you're word smart. Well, Amy would know. She didn't get a word in edgewise, but
We were like fighting over who could speak the fastest.
and he's just, he goes and then he doesn't stop. Eventually I have to say, just a little bit less. A few less words. So he's definitely word smart. So it's just great because when I said to him, you're word smart, he was like, they grow before your eyes. Yeah.
So the 8 Great Smarts is a really incredible parenting resource and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's great.
So Debs, you're reading a really thick book. It's heavy, but in thickness. Which is why I picked it up and put it down many times. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so some books are great to actually get the audiobook, which I've been doing.
Clever.
So I've literally been diving into a book by probably one of the most influential women of our time. It's her biography. It's by Michelle Obama called Becoming. And it's absolutely incredible. I've been loving the book that I'm reading. So the really heart behind it is her whole story from her childhood
through to her journey with her husband, becoming the first lady, and how she actually takes time to process what she's gone through. And some of the statements that she makes in the book is actually incredible. She says, you know, in her journey, she's felt humbled and elevated. She's felt like she's risen up and become smaller all at the same time. So it's absolutely incredible. It's such a beautiful story to know her journey as well.
And what are some of the tools she's like given? I've really wanted to read that book as well, and I've heard it's amazing. But what are some of the tools she gives us as women?
The one thing that really behind the heart of the book is that she takes time to process. And the one thing, that's a statement that she makes, is that she's only now starting to process her journey from the start of 2006, where her husband started talking about becoming a president, all the way up to this past winter when she was sitting in the limo with Melania Trump and on her way to her husband's inauguration. And it just kind of reminded me, even though this isn't a Christian book, if a high-functioning woman like that, I mean, she's a mom, she's a wife, she's a world leader, a first lady, she had to take time to process everything that she goes through. How much more do we have to do it? And it kind of just reminded me of how Jesus, we see in the Bible, he takes time away to reflect and process. And I don't think as Christians, and maybe sometimes as ladies, we don't often take enough time, because I think we're so in function mode the whole time that we don't actually take time to sit back, relax, and reflect and process what we're going through. So some of the great tools that she's mentioned in her book, she speaks about her childhood where there's been negative thoughts, negative words spoken over her. And later on in the life, she was negative words were spoken over her by a counselor. And that kind of affected her. But one thing that her father told her that was very interesting is that failure is a feeling before it becomes a reality. And she filtered all her decisions and grafted all her behavior around that thought, thinking, well, she needs to set herself up in a positive. She's not going to have that failure mindset, and she's going to step forward into thinking that she can be successful.
Power of words again. It's incredible.
It's just so incredible how the words of her father actually help her understand the words of her childhood that have been spoken over, and how she can craft her character thinking that failure is not an option. So failure is not the mindset that she's going to operate from.
And how much more importantly we can use the words of our Father, you know, as positive input into our daily lives.
Exactly, that's so true.
Geez, guys, I'm really loving this. Who said people don't read in 2020? Lizzie, I see you've got a book there entitled Whisper. Is it also about words?
Yes, it really is, Pastor Kent. I'm reading a book written by Mark Batterson, which is about the power of hearing God's voice. And it's really been impactful to me. It tells us about listening to the impactful, powerful, and amazing ways that God speaks into our lives. Yeah, even though they may come as whispers, they're still meaningful and life-changing. And it's been really amazing. I like the example that he shares about the power of God's words. He says in Genesis 1, God says, "Let there be light." And when God spoke those 4 words, the universe was created. And it's still growing and expanding right now. And if God can speak 4 words, and the universe is created, still growing in this moment, imagine what more God can do in our lives, which I found to be so profound. And he went on to say that the same voice that spoke those 4 words for the universe to be created is the same voice that parted the Red Sea. And the same voice that made the sun stand still. The same voice that healed so many people. And it is the voice that is speaking to us right now. So it was really an amazing book. Sure.
That's an incredible thought. I'm going to cheat and ask you, like, what are some of the practical things he gave us to hear God's voice?
Okay, so one obvious way, which I thought it was obvious before, Corona, but it doesn't seems so obvious was finding a quiet place.
Yeah.
He quotes a philosopher called Blaise Pascal, who said one of the reason or the main cause for men's soul problem is because he cannot find keep quiet in a room by himself. And he went on to explain that half our battles and struggles are won when we listen to Psalm 46, which says, "Be still and know that I am God."
So good.
Because it's when we are quieter that God's voice becomes more louder and more clearer. So, which was so amazing. Like, I've really been impacted by this book, and I think I'm learning to hear God's voice much better than I have been.
That's incredible.
It's so good.
That really sounds amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I found that like in lockdown, just because there's so many people around you all the time, it's really hard to find a quiet space. You're reading your Bible in your room or wherever, and then the kids are knocking on the door, and it's time for school, or it's been intense, you know. So just to carve out space to hear God's voice.
Yes.
It sounds like an incredible book.
Yeah, and the amazing thing is like there's a different time for each and every one of us. Like, I find that midnight is my quiet time. Like, you know, I find the morning. Midnight is the best place.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, you go to sleep and then you wake up.
Yes.
Do you go to sleep? Really?
No, I don't go to sleep.
I think for me, like, I think finding a space is not always the problem. A quiet space, it's about all the noise inside my head.
Yeah.
You know, how do you?
It's very busy in there, Trace.
A lot of stuff going on there. It's about like quieting that.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do. Not easy to do.
That sounds really great, Liz, and it's definitely going to be the book that I read next. And the book that I'm reading now is all about forming habits and disciplines in our lives. So it's super daunting and challenging at the same time. But it's called Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Oh wait, that sounds like an intense title.
It is, and I think that's probably like what put me off reading it for so long, because I've had it like on my book list for a long time. But it is so good, it's so powerful, and like there's so many like quick and easy things that he gives you that you can implement in your life that can actually help you to make habits so much easier in your life. You've read it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I need it. I still need it.
I
need it again.
Yeah, that's super intense.
But they're like simple little tricks, you know, like, so it's called like one of the things, habit stacking.
Yeah.
Habit stacking. And they say what you should do is, if you want to drink more water, make sure that if you drink a coffee, that you drink a bottle of water next.
Yeah.
So that you stack a good habit on top of a habit that you enjoy. So I enjoy coffee. So what I do is I put a good habit on top of that, and then I reward myself with a coffee after that. It's really awesome.
It's really good.
Yeah.
So like simple things like that. But one of the like main themes that he introduces early on in the book that I found really helpful was the like cycle or circles of behavioral change. So he starts off with 3 circles, and the outer circle is like outcome based. So that would be your goal that you want to reach or achieve. So like for us ladies, it could be like losing weight. High brownie.
It's always a goal, but with a brownie.
So he says like that would be our first go-tos. We look at the goal and we try to change that.
Yeah.
Then going one circle in, that would be your processes, changing the processes. So that would be drinking more water, changing your gym routine, eating more healthy so that you can get your goal. But then like the inner circle and the deepest level to this is changing your identity.
Wow.
And it sounds intense.
Yeah.
It's intense because it takes work. But what he says is like, as people, we work from the outside in, but he says that we should actually work from the inside out, looking at the 3 circles. So we should first change our change our identity, which will then change the processes, and we'll actually achieve our goals without even realizing it, or get the outcome that we want without even, just as a byproduct, because we've changed who we are, so we need to have like habits that are identity based and not outcome based. And he like uses the simple question by simply asking yourself, who do you want to become, instead of what you want to achieve. And that's been like, mind blowing and so easy to actually apply. So it's been really
So would you like to start with, I'm just playing like devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Would you start with like, I am a fit and healthy person?
Yes, that's exactly it. So and it's not becoming, because you actually have to say what you want to become now. So like in present tense, so exactly that. So like when you wake up in the morning on a cold winter's day, and you don't, instead of saying, oh, I have to go for my 5K run, you actually start off with saying, I am a healthy person, and so I'm going to go for my run. Or I'm a runner, and I'm going to go for a run.
Really good.
Even with our devotional lives, this is such a helpful tool. Instead of saying, oh, I have to read a chapter today because I'm on a Bible plan, or I have to, get this done before I go to work. Instead, you can say, I'm a fully devoted Christ follower. And so if that's who I am, then obviously I'm spending time in God's word every day.
Then I need to be with him, become like him, and do what he would do.
And so it's so easy if you think of it that way. I think in the beginning it's harder, but like in the long run, it's so much more sustainable if you're doing it based on your identity and not based on the outcome. Because as soon as like our processes get, like we fail at them one day, then our goals go out the window. But if we are like focusing on who we are and who we're becoming, it makes it so much easier.
I think if they would hang a brownie in front of me and say, run.
If you wanted enough.
It was really good. And again, the power of your words, actually.
So
back to the whispering and what you're telling yourself, the power of your identity. It's really good. So Debs, you're a really disciplined person. Tell us if you agree with this.
I certainly can, but wow, what an incredible way to put it. I mean, it's like the scripture says that out of the abundance of the heart, we act and speak. So it's so true.
I think everything comes from heart change or identity change. It all stems from there. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep that in mind.
It's really good. So all of these books have been so incredible and so helpful. I think if you haven't read these books, we should definitely read one you haven't read, but they've been really so helpful. So I think that I'm the only one left to go. So I'm reading a book by Lisa TerKeurst, and the title is actually what caught me. It's Not Supposed to Be This Way by Lisa TerKeurst, and pretty much I think that's the subtitle of 2020. 2020, not supposed to be this way. And the whole book and the premise of the book is that we all have disappointments and pain, but how do we overcome those? Even though things happen that aren't supposed to be this way, 2020, even though we have these things that cause us pain and much disappointment, and I think for many of us, truthfully, this year has had a lot of those moments, jokes aside. But how do we deal with the pain and the disappointments without letting it destroy the picture in our mind that we had of the masterpiece of our lives and how we had pictured it to be? And she tells a story of this. It's actually quite an incredible story where she says to you as the reader and her are sitting in her kitchen towards the end of the book, and she says, we're sitting in my kitchen and we're discussing our pain, our stories. We're eating brownies together. I don't know what they're eating, but we're eating brownies together. We're shedding tears, and then all of a sudden she says the strangest thing, and she says to us in the room, "Let's go paint together." And when she said this, I was like, "Really? Paint together?"
Definitely put me off.
Exactly, that would put me off too, Liz, because I'm a terrible artist. We cannot paint to save my life. And the point was, that was what she was actually trying to illustrate, that even if we're the worst artists and we realize we're never going to make a masterpiece, that we should paint anyway, do something significant with our lives anyway. And it was just so touching, actually, because it actually almost brought me to tears. Almost. But I have quite a lot in lockdown, okay? So it almost brought me to tears, just because That's the thing. We always have a picture of the masterpiece we want from our lives. We're going to have the perfect family and the perfect home and the kids and the dogs and things don't always work out the way we want. And then she's like, well, then what do? You tear up the masterpiece? No, you create another one, is what she was saying. And so I want to read an extract from the book. Everyone must try. Give yourself permission to not be perfect. Refuse to be intimidated by the process. The most beauty will emerge from the paintbrushes held by those who are the most free from fear. Smile. I already love what will soon come to life on your canvas. And then she ends by saying this. We'd relax and realize these are also good rules for life. Isn't it beautiful? That's the things that we planned and the canvases we planned. We don't have to stick to that. We can make something beautiful, like out of our lives that God has given us. And that's actually true of Scripture too. That He says that He will turn everything in our lives for His good and for His purposes. So even the curveballs, even the disappointments, even the pain, reminds me of my brownies. The first batch wasn't so great, but they taste good. So added sugar and chocolate in. And it's the same with our lives. Let's paint something beautiful, even with the disappointments of 2020, even with things not working out the way we'd hoped. So it's really an incredible read, and I encourage you to get the book.
Thanks so much, Pastor Ken. This was such a great idea. I absolutely love Hope Ladies Book Club. I've learned so much from sharing with you ladies and your thoughts on how the books came out, and that it's absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hope ladies, I don't know where you find yourself tonight with everything that's been going on in 2020, but can I encourage you to find your own moments of hope? There's a masterpiece waiting for you to just simply try. Paint your own picture, bake your brownies, and watch God make something amazing out of it. And coincidentally, we've already learned all the practical ways we need to get started from this amazing evening, and things we've learned from the stories that we've read together. So can I invite you in the week ahead to not hold on to the empty box of disappointment, but instead look to what Jesus is saying. Identify the needs and talents of those around you and do what you can to help them live out their best lives. Process and reflect on the last seasons that you've gone through, and don't let them go to waste. Hear the powerful words of God and what He's speaking into your life. And whenever you choose to be silent, listen to His still small voice. And lastly, form the identity that can best speak into the kind of person you want to become. And in the end, we'll come out with a masterpiece, or hopefully an amazing plate of brownies. But at least we would have tried. And that will fill us with huge amounts of hope. Come on, we're going to worship together this evening. Let's worship together, Hope ladies. an incredible time together. Thanks, ladies, for joining me. What have you got planned for this weekend? I know it's a Women's Day weekend, so any plans?
Well, Pastor Cam, I've signed up for a virtual run.
Oh, awesome.
It's the Wonder Woman theme, so it's a 5K run that I'm going to be doing with a friend. I signed up mainly because you get a really cool Wonder Woman medal. I mean, you get a medal before you actually do the run. That's incentive right there. That's going to be quite fun.
That's awesome.
I'm hoping to have a dinner for children.
Awesome.
That'll be great.
Yeah, really awesome.
So I'll be attending the Life Watch party on campus.
Oh, that's
Sunday,
awesome.
see Pastor Penny.
Oh yeah, talking about Sunday, we have Pastor Pindi Matabule who is going to be preaching on our Women's Day, because Women's Day is actually on Sunday.
Yes.
And she will be online. We can't wait to see you all online again at either 8, 9, 10 or 5 p.m. So looking forward to seeing you all. It's going to be great. What a great time we've had together, Hope ladies. We trust that you have an incredible weekend too. Grace and peace to you all.